Bible friends, y'all are doing a great job with this online learning process. Keep up the good work. Here's some clues for the quiz on Exodus. It's a 40-chapter book. We're going to look at chapter 20. Exodus means exit. Everybody out. Here we go. That's what happens. All the people of Israel, they went down to Egypt because there was a famine in the land where they lived, and Egypt had lots of food, so they went and lived there for 430 years. And then the Pharaoh who lived at that time, the 430 years later, dealt very cruelly with them, and so they cried out to the Lord, and the Lord came and rescued them. So you've got a 40-chapter book. The first 20 chapters, or the first half, is basically the rescue, the salvation. He saves the Israelites out of Exodus. They exit Egypt, all right? They're saved from their oppressors, okay? And then they come across the desert, they come to Mount Sinai, and in chapter 20, there's a big event that you've all heard of. And then after that, he continues to establish the covenant and define some of the things that were established in chapter 20. Then he gives them these really specific rules on how to build the tabernacle. It's got to be this long, things of this color, things of this size, all that, very specific rules on building the tabernacle. And eventually, when they come into the promised land, they will replace the tabernacle with a permanent structure called the temple. Okay, and those things, the tabernacle and the temple, they are types. They foreshadow something. And that would be, in the New Testament, we are the temple of God. Okay, so God saves us, just like he saved Israel, and then he builds his church, and we are the temple of the living God. Christ also referred to himself in his body as a temple and said, if you destroy this temple in 3 days, I'll raise it up again. And of course, he's talking about his own body, and the church is called Christ's body as well. So we are God's temple. We are saved and then built up into a temple. The outline of the book of Exodus, and specifically in chapter 20, there's a format for the giving of the Ten Commandments. That's what chapter 20 is all about, the giving of the Ten Commandments. And this format is used in the New Testament in a basic way. So the format is, first of all, God says, I am the Lord your God who saved you out of Egypt. I saved you. I saved you. Therefore, you shall have no other gods before me, and so it goes down the Ten Commandments. That's the structure that shows up a lot in the New Testament. For example, if you look at the entire book of Ephesians, it's 6 chapters, and chapters 1, 2, and 3 are God has saved you. He has saved you, right? He's rescued you from eternal destruction, okay? And then that's the first half of Ephesians, and the second half of Ephesians is, because he has saved you, now you should live like this, behave like this, love each other in this way. So first salvation, then how do you live because you've been saved? So that format's really important. That's how the Ten Commandments are given. It's not law first, it's gospel first. You're saved. Now everyone will know that you're saved because you live in this righteous way. And that's how it is for Christians as well. We've been saved, not because of our works, but because of God's love, because of his good purposes. Then we live according to what he says, so that we are actually loving in the way that he loves, and we're distinguished from all other people on the face of the earth because of the way that we love one another.